Connection established. Deep Void listening station active. Satellite uplink confirmed. Recovered transmissions. Audio log SD7729A through D. Origin, Ruby Creek Agricultural Settlement, Planetary System, Epsilon. Eridani B. Subject, unidentified aerial phenomena, colony disruption, disappearance event. Classification, black level anomaly. Initiating playback of audio log SD7729-A.
I'm starting these logs on administration recommendation. They said documenting strange occurrences might help with their investigation. Not that I expect much from admin. 3 years we've been out here, and I've seen exactly 2 representatives make the journey from Central. It started 3 weeks ago. The first formation appeared in the east side of my wheat field, a perfect circle about 30 meters across. The stalks weren't broken or trampled, they were bent. All of them bent at exactly the same height, all laying flat in a clockwise spiral, like someone had used a giant comb. The neighbors think it's some kind of prank from the kids in town. Ruby Creek's got all of 43 people now, and only 5 of them are under 18. Those kids couldn't keep a secret if their lives depended on it. Eliza, that's my wife, she thinks it might be some kind of strange wind pattern. Dust devils or something. But I've been farming for 20 years, 15 back on Earth and 5 here. I know what weather does to crops. This wasn't weather. 2 days after the circle showed up, I saw the lights for the first time. It was around midnight. I was doing a final check on the irrigation systems when I noticed this glow coming from above the northern pasture. 3 lights in a triangular formation, hovering maybe 200 meters up. Completely silent. No engine noise, no wind disturbance. Just floating there, pulsing slightly. Watched them for nearly 10 minutes before they shot straight up and vanished. Haven't told Eliza or the kids about the lights yet. Don't want to frighten them. Especially not after what happened to the Norwood's dog yesterday. Found it in our yard, completely rigid. Not dead. It was breathing, eyes open and moving. But it couldn't move a muscle. Like every part of it was locked in place. By evening it was back to normal, but now it won't go outside after dark. Just cowers under the Norwood's porch, trembling. I've tried calling admin about all this, but our comms have been spotty. Lots of interference lately. Strange sounds on the channel. Almost like voices, but distorted. Speaking too fast or backwards or something. That's Eliza. I'll continue this tomorrow.
Audio log SD7729B. Date CST 119.21. Location Wheeler Farm, Ruby Creek Settlement.
Another formation appeared last night. This one's different. A series of concentric rings spanning nearly the entire western field. No way this is kids or weather. The precision is unsettling. Old man Davies came by this morning. He's the closest thing Ruby Creek has to a historian. Been here since the first landing 13 years ago. He mentioned something about the original survey team encountering sky spirits. Said the indigenous life forms here, those large insectoid colonies in the Northern Territories, have primitive markings that might depict similar phenomena. Showed me some sketches from the xenobiology reports. Crude drawings of lights in the sky and elongated figures. I dismissed it as superstition, but Davies seemed deadly serious. Said his grandfather told stories about similar occurrences back on Earth, in some rural community in the Midwest, before the collapse. The lights came back tonight. 5 of them this time, directly over the house. The animals are going crazy. Chickens making noise all night. Our mare kicking at her stable door. Even the colony native arthropods seem agitated, swarming in unusual patterns. And the radio. I've been scanning frequencies trying to reach someone at Central, Instead, I keep picking up fragments of what sounds like our own transmissions from days or weeks ago, interspersed with this low pulsing tone, and something else. Sounds like breathing but not quite human.
Audio log SD7729-C. Date CST120.57. Location Wheeler Farm, Ruby Creek Settlement.
The Patels haven't been seen for 2 days. Their house is empty. Breakfast still on the table, doors unlocked. All 4 of them gone. Their harvester is still in the field, running in circles until it ran out of fuel. 3 more families reported missing this morning. That's 11 people. A quarter of Ruby Creek vanished. I've started boarding up the windows. Eliza thinks I'm overreacting, but she didn't see what I saw last night. I was checking the perimeter fence and spotted something at the edge of the woods. It was tall, much taller than a person, and thin, moving in this jerky, unnatural way. When I shined my light toward it, it didn't run away. It folded, like it collapsed in on itself and disappeared. The lights are directly overhead now, every night, not moving anymore, just watching. Davies brought over an old journal today, handwritten by one of the first colonists. It described similar events happening about once every 15 years. Lights, missing people, strange formations. The author claimed the indigenous insect colonies became extremely aggressive during these periods, as if they were trying to drive something away. I've started to notice symbols appearing on our property, burnt into the side of the barn, carved into trees. They match some of the markings from Davies' xenobiology reports. Circular patterns with strange angular writing. We tried to leave this morning. The road to Central was blocked. A massive fallen tree that wasn't there yesterday. When I tried to move it with the tractor, the engine died. Nothing electrical works beyond our property line now. It's like there's a perimeter. They want us to stay.
Audio log SD7729-D. Date CST121.33. Location Wheeler Interior Safe Room, Wheeler Farm.
They're here, on the roof, inside the walls. We can hear them moving. The symbols are appearing inside the house now, burning themselves into the walls, the floor, the mirror in the hallway. I saw one of them reflected in it, just for a second. It had a face, but it was all wrong. Eyes too large, too far apart. No mouth that I could see. The radio's picking up voices now. Our voices. Conversations we had yesterday, last week, played back to us. Sometimes it's my voice saying words I never said. Eliza saw one reaching through the kitchen window. She said its arm was too long, jointed in too many places. It withdrew when she screamed. Davies was right. They come in cycles. They take people. They've been doing it since before we arrived. I think the symbols are some kind of warning from the indigenous species. They've dealt with these visitors before. They know. We're in the safe room now. Metal walls, no windows. Emergency provisions for 2 weeks. The children are terrified. I've told them to cover their ears, not to listen when they hear familiar voices calling their names. The comms are working again, but all I'm getting is that breathing sound. Closer now, like it's right next to the microphone. There's something in the ventilation system. I can see, oh God, long pale fingers wrapping around the grate. Too many fingers. They're coming in. They're...
Audio cuts to static for 3.4 seconds.
We have always been here, above, watching, waiting. Look up, Samuel Wheeler. Look up at the lights.
Report, Colony Administrative Authority. Date, CST 157.89. Subject, Wheeler Farm Investigation. Investigation team dispatched to Ruby Creek Settlement following loss of contact with all residents. Population 43. Team discovered settlement abandoned, no signs of struggle or evacuation. All structures intact. Wheeler farmhouse contained final audio logs, transcribed and attached. All recording equipment functional, no signs of forced entry or violence. Family personal belongings present, including identification documents and valuables. Aerial survey revealed extensive crop formations spanning approximately 400 hectares of surrounding farmland. Patterns match no known meteorological phenomena or colony-native biological activity. Multiple symbols found carved or burned into structures throughout settlement. Linguistic analysis shows no correlation to any known language, human or xenobiological. No bodies recovered. No blood or evidence of violence detected. 43 colonists officially classified as missing. Recommendation: permanent quarantine of Ruby Creek settlement area. Rerouting of colony expansion to avoid northern territories. Increased surveillance of celestial anomalies. Note: during site cleanup, team member Carter, Jay reported hearing what sounded like breathing and whispering from within sealed rooms. Psychological evaluation ordered for all team members upon return to Central. Addendum: unusual light phenomena observed on 3 consecutive nights above investigation site. All personnel evacuated. Remote monitoring drone lost contact after transmitting final image of unidentified aerial lights in triangular formation. Investigation officially closed by Executive Order 5529. All records classified. File status: restricted access.